Recording starts. All right. Well, now I can open the floor. Well, actually, Katrin already did a brilliant job on that because she's always awesome when it comes to bonding people and making people turn their cameras on so we can smile at each other. So the beginning is already set. For me, I can just welcome you once again on the monthly webinars, which Noble Manhattan organizes as a form of a support, like one of the many forms of support that Noble Manhattan provides to the students. But also those webinars are open for anyone else who is interested in becoming a coach or in the coaching methodology in general. That's why all the topics that are going to be in the webinars in Bulgarian, because we also conduct the webinars in Bulgarian. Once a month we have it in Bulgarian and once a month we have it in English. And also we have it in other languages, and Katrin has been so proactive and visionary in order to make webinars in different Balkan languages. For many people, those are very exotic languages, including Bulgarian for that means. So in general, we organize quite a lot of webinars, but those two is in precise, the Bulgarian and the English one are part of the support for the students, and the topics that we cover are related very closely to the topics from the books. Those of you who are students, you know the big books that we use. Like I used to be a student. I'm a former student, but an ongoing member of the Noble Manhattan family. So the idea here is to keep building up on the knowledge and you as coaches as your skills. And now, yeah, I see that Katrin now is sharing her screen, so she can now tell you more about which are the upcoming events, some very interesting stuff coming up. So I'm just going to shut up now, Katrin, and give you the mic back.
I actually meant to simply supplement what you're saying.
Bine,
Thank you, Gary.
Eu am intrat un pic aici într-o conferință.
Excuse me, would we possible to mute? Yes, thank you. While we talk, so that everybody is welcome to participate and to take part in the discussions and everything, except when we are not talking, if we can keep muted, then it is less distracting for everybody else. So I simply wanted to supplement what Gary was saying about the topics, and this is the website which describes Practitioner Coach Diploma. And as you can see, in April, we have an exciting event, which is the Immersive Coaching Weekend coming up on April 19, 2021. Now, ever since the pandemic, we hold them primarily online. So this one is also online. We started also holding them on location again. So last time we did it on location. This time was going to be online. But if any one of you is interested in becoming a coach, I highly recommend that you catch this opportunity, because at least right now we're planning this only once this year. And because it's online, you can catch it anywhere in the world you are in. You can just click a button and join and enjoy the training. But the webinar topics that Gary was explaining, they correspond to these key modules, topics that we have in the core training of the Practitioner Coach Diploma that gives you qualification as a life and executive coach. So as you can see, it has to deal with the art of conversation, the skill of listening, ability to ask good questions, T-Grow and other coaching models, building rapport, beliefs, values, building self-esteem. Sorry, goal setting is not targeting. It's just that it's a Google Translate. It translated it in English and then back into Bulgarian. So it's lost in translation, but it has to be actually goal setting and ethics in coaching. So yeah, and as far as languages, last month we had a webinar in Serbian, the 4 pillars of coaching, and the 4 pillars of coaching in Slovenian. So we are adding to the global knowledge of coaching. Okay, so thank you. That's all I want to say right now. So we can have time for Boris.
Is it my turn now?
Well, I was waiting to see if Gary will jump in again.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Gary jumps in very slowly. I'm sorry. Okay, well, while Boris is preparing to share his screen because he's our lecturer, we invited him and he said yes, and I was actually very, very happy because today we're going to cover one of the topics that is extremely important, not just for coaching, like when we are coaches, but also when we are outside of that, when we just live our lives. So I know that those deep topics like values and beliefs, they're very, very interesting for Boris. We've known each other from studying in Noble Manhattan. I believe we kind of studied during the same time with a bit of a small time difference. But we normally would meet on one of the residential trainings, and it's always so much fun to meet fellow coaches, exchange ideas, experience, see how other people perceive coaching, and learn so much from sharing different experiences. So my memories and experience with Boris has always brought me those very warm memories. And that's why I normally don't present people through their titles and achievements, because those are things that you can see. Hopefully, Boris is going to share his contact details at the end of the presentation, so you can go and find him on different social media and also check his website. But I mostly share I present the lectures through my personal experience with them. And it's always been pleasure when we get to meet each other. So Boris, with this, I'm just gonna again shut up. I always think that I talk too much, so I can just give you the mic.
Thank you, Gary, for the lovely words. Yes, I'm a Noble Manhattan coach, graduated coach. I started 2017, and around 2018, I got my diploma. And apart from believing that the PCD course from Noble Manhattan is probably the greatest program there, Katrin and Brian meanwhile invented something else called the advanced coaching program, where we had to do intensive monthly meetings where you had maybe 6 to 8 coaching sessions per day, with addition from some theoretical training from Katrin, of course. So then I took like 10 or 12, I forgot how many courses
10
were
master
that.
classes we
Yeah,
added.
master classes. So I have to say that the PCD in combination with the master classes or that advanced training will truly prepare you to be the best coach out there. And I really love this program. And it was very fun that during those master classes, they were live at that time. Now I think you're doing them online. So,
Yes,
yeah,
it was right before the pandemic. We were coming
yeah,
every month to Macedonia. We traveled every single month,
yeah,
which I loved, and I really miss everybody. But then it was the pandemic, so we had to
yeah.
switch to online.
We had a lot of fun, and it was good when you were bringing people from Bulgaria, because you get to train with a lot of different coaches. Some are more advanced, some are more beginning in the path. So that was super fun, because when you're working with your small group of people, you kind of get to know each other and you feel comfortable. So I remember when Gegi showed up for the first time, I think I was working with her and I was like, oh God, she knows so much more than me. So anyway, this topic is very close and dear to me, because I have suffered the negative sides of negative beliefs, and I have experienced some great rewards from having worked on those beliefs to transform them into positive beliefs. And because this has worked for me, I've noticed that some of the main messages out in the world, through media, through movies, through the news, all the messages are in some way a sharing of values and beliefs. And due to that, I believe that every person, not only coaches, should be trained in what beliefs are, what beliefs can do for you, what effect they have on your life. So you can become aware of not only your own personal beliefs, but all those messages around you coming from society. And hopefully, so some of you will find this interesting. I made this presentation mostly for PCD students, so it's not something super advanced. It's if you're studying, if you're going through the material, this might be something to add on to that to make it more colorful, because I was trying to not bring a theoretical webinar, but to bring some of the experiences I have had in my life, in my practice as a coach. So let me first share screen. Here it is. Can we all see this?
No, I don't.
Hold
Am
on.
I something wrong?
Right.
Oh, sorry. Here it is.
There
Should
you
be
go.
working now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the main topic is the role of beliefs in coaching. And I will attempt to give you a very interesting webinar on the overall role of beliefs in coaching. But it won't be a theoretical lecture, because I believe you have this excellent PCD course that has all the information you need. So I will try to share my experience, and yes, I'm open to questions and feedback from you. So in the beginning, this is one of those pictures with which encompass everything that we're going to talk about. The power of belief was put excellent in this sentence by Yoda, who is a master coach or a fellow coach. And that's the power that belief has in your life. So remember this slide, because we will come near the end, we will come back to this again. It briefly says that if you want to do something in life, to initiate some action or to manifest something or to achieve a particular state of being in your life, your beliefs must be aligned with what you want to do. So this is just a brief overview of what I will try to cover. So we will talk about what beliefs are and where do they come from, the various types of beliefs according to psychology and other modern approaches. How do beliefs influence and affect our inner state or inner landscape and external experience? Then we will talk a little bit about the coaching on beliefs in life, executive, and corporate coaching, because they might be different. Main obstacles to successfully initiate or have a coaching session on beliefs. Then we will talk a little bit about how to successfully coach your clients in transforming beliefs through sharing some of my tips and tricks. And then being a very stern lecturer, I always give some homework, even when I'm on TV. So there's some homework at the end of this. So let's begin. Even so, I wanted to make this webinar very practical. Of course, we must touch a little bit on the theory of everything. So what are beliefs? Where do beliefs come from? If you just do a normal Google search, you will find that a belief would be an acceptance to a statement that is true or that something exists. And this is the very basic idea of what a belief is. I believe something that exists independently from me. And whether I agree with it or not, it must be true. This is, for most people, what a belief is. However, number two makes it more personal. It says trust, faith, or confidence in something or someone. So there's an element of trust and faith in belief. Now, number one doesn't say that. Number one gives you an idea that a belief is something that exists independently from you, because it exists out there and you just have to agree with it. But number two is very important to what we're going to discuss, because it says there must be an internal element of trust or faith or confidence in something or someone in order for this belief to be true. So you can see that beliefs can be elusive, mostly because nowhere in our educational system do we pay attention on beliefs. People have children and they teach them how to be obedient at home, how to achieve this or that in school, but we never work with our children on beliefs. Then you go to school, can finish, you can get a PhD even. Beliefs are just not a part of the educational system. So they remain to be very elusive, yet they're very powerful. Beliefs are personal experiences. They can belong to you individually, to your family, to your tribe. And we all have them, but most people are not really aware that they have them. Before we look at the text on the left side, one of my favorite pictures when we're discussing beliefs and these topics is this picture on the right with the iceberg. So you see the conscious mind is all the things we have in the in our daily cerebral mental state. It's like 10%. This is the conscious mind, but underneath us, there's a vast ocean of awareness, of consciousness, of activity, which is subconscious, and maybe it's 90% of the totality of who we are. So what we bring to the surface is only logical, cerebral, analytical thinking, but underneath are habits, beliefs, values, perceptions, emotions, creativity, imagination, all the way to intuition and the spiritual connection, the holistic connection, as I prefer to call it. So just from this picture, if you look at it, all beliefs will be submerged underwater in that 90%, which makes it very interesting as a coach to work with something which is there, but not even your client may be aware that that material is affecting their life. This is partially the challenge of coaching. So on the left side, we can see that usually, modern psychology and self-help and all of these disciplines, they claim that beliefs are formed in two ways: from our experiences, our inferences, our deductions, which is an internal aspect, and of course, there are external forces of induction. You know, like when you pass close to an electromagnetic field, all the hair stands up on your head. Well, that's the principle of induction. If you have group messages or collective messages from society, friends, parents, all of these will become part of your belief system. There will be external beliefs that you absorb, and yes, you do that unconsciously. So the first thing I would like to raise to our awareness right now is that little reminder I put there. When people come to you for coaching, people are not aware that they have these things, these beliefs submerged underneath. And when you talk with people, they may try to make certain statements about their goals or relationships and this and that, and they will tell you things which they're very convinced of. But remind yourself when you're doing a coaching session that people are not aware of what's going on in the subconscious mind. So what they're telling you basically is very subjective. people are subjective by definition. So in your practice, whether you're exploring values or beliefs, when you discuss something, people will give you good reasons why some step cannot be taken, why some goal cannot be achieved. And they will give you very good explanations about how difficult their life is at the moment and how things are complex. Remind yourself that they're speaking from the conscious mind. So you see all that submerged material comes up through logical thinking, analytical thinking, through various plans. So people are good at giving explanations about their current state. But as a coach, although that's important, you don't really care about that. You're trying to bring your coachee, your client, to reach a particular goal. And that will mean that although all their excuses are well meant, you're trying to dig underneath in that submerged aspect, and you would like to bring to the surface all these beliefs that might be sabotaging a particular goal. And at the end there in this little text, they put something which is crucial to achieving this. If you're reading that the PCD, the books, there's a lot of talk about trust and closeness and even intimacy between the client and the coach during the coaching session. If you have this good connection, this good intimacy, your client will be able to open up and allow the subconscious mind to emerge. Somehow, it's my personal experience, because I practice this on me as well as with other people. It's my experience that people need a safe space to open up and to allow the subconscious material to emerge. If people are not safe, when they're defensive, they only function from that 10% with logical, cerebral, constructs and plans, and they do not allow the other material to come out. So it might be challenging for you to work on their beliefs or even values. So remember to create this safe space and good connection with your client in order to work on beliefs. We are still discussing what are beliefs, where do beliefs come from? I found this slide on the right especially very interesting. So the 10 distinctions. It says that beliefs drive our lives, which is very much true. It's very difficult for me to think of something that I do or do not do that is not related to some belief I have. Beliefs actually drive our lives, even so we might have various logical and reasons accepted by society that we do this or we do not do that. But deep down, there's a belief. They do operate, number two, they operate visibly and invisibly. So sometimes people might be very transparent and share their beliefs. Some people do that, especially, can you think of someone that shares their beliefs openly? Religious people, because religion is a belief system. And also people that have strong set of moral values, they might share things openly. However, for most people, beliefs are an invisible force. It's there, but not even they see it. It says that beliefs can protect and harm us at the same time. And they do that. For example, you might have a belief that you should stay in a safe, steady job. And you do this because it's safe. You don't take risks. So at one end, this belief will protect you. But if you never learn to take any chances, you might never grow. And thus the same belief can harm you. So sometimes there's a paradox. A belief can harm and protect you at the same time, as if beliefs have a polarity to them, similar to that Taoist symbol of yin and yang. Beliefs can be, if you read under number 7, are truthful and false at the same time, which is correlated to number 3. They can protect and harm us. They have this duality to them. So they can be truthful and false. So how is this possible when you're working with a client? They might tell you about something that happened to them and they have a particular belief. And they're not lying to you. They really believe this. But it doesn't mean that the belief is objectively and independently true by itself. For example, some people avoid relationships because they can hurt your feelings. And a person that has experienced betrayal or abandonment might have negative beliefs about relationships. And this belief is true. But at the same time, it's also false. Because if people change their belief and start opening up and exploring, they might have different experiences, which will uplift them and empower them. Beliefs define who we are. This is something that particularly resonates with me. Similar to values, beliefs can actually tell me about a person who they are. In fact, if in society, I used to discuss this on TV when I was presenting coaching in Macedonia. Imagine if we as coaches have somehow the opportunity or privilege to bring values and beliefs into our system. Let's say if there's a test to test politicians or corporate CEOs, what kind of people they are according to their values and beliefs. We would immediately know what they will bring to the table because they define who we are. The last point, number 10, is also very important. And for you as a coach, this might be the most important thing. Beliefs can be created and changed. If they cannot, then there's no reason for us to do coaching at all. But beliefs are initiated at a particular point in time or space-time. There's an event that happened, and if this event is very strong, it leaves a mark, like an echo inside of you, in your emotions, in your mind, in your being, and it lives on. And just as life itself has a beginning and an end, beliefs can also have an end. And you can de-energize and you can put new beliefs. You can create and change new beliefs and discard ones you don't use. This is something very important for your client. Now, moving to another topic, the types of beliefs. This is not a gospel, right? So if you study some psychology or NLP or coaching or any self-help, generally people want to bring some unique material to the table, so they will invent different categories, but mostly beliefs can be divided in personal, group. Then they talk about core beliefs and the basic distinction between limiting or negative and empowering and positive beliefs. So personal beliefs are those which you will probably encounter most in your work, because every person you meet will have a set of personal beliefs. It's impossible for me to think of a situation or person that does not have personal beliefs. Every person filters experiences through their being, and at some inner deep level, they create some interpretations of events and they manifest beliefs. So these are personal beliefs, and you will encounter them most in your coaching practice. Now, in my practice, personal beliefs were the easiest to work with. Why? Because there's only one point of reference in these sets of beliefs. What do I mean by that? Well, in order to explain this, look at number 2, group beliefs. Group beliefs are beliefs that are shared by many people, of which you are a part of. So if I have a client and this person says that their personal belief is that it's impossible to lose weight. It's very easy to challenge that. You remember, as coaches, you can challenge. You don't have to be always nice with your client. Sometimes you need to challenge your client. So when you challenge the client's belief about, let's say, losing weight, you can give them hundreds of examples of people that have changed their lifestyle and dramatically changed their health. It will be easy to convince or polarize your client with this new information. However, if this client exists within a group of people, family, friends, extended, larger group, and they all suffer from similar problems, it will be much more difficult to change their belief. I have noticed this in groups that, due to religion or region, let's say people have a particular diet. You know, diets are, food is a very emotional topic. So in certain religions, they teach you should eat this, but not that. I'm using this as an example. So if this person lives with a group of people that have a particular group belief that this is what's normal, it will be very difficult for you. It will be very challenging for you to help them move from their personal belief, because they see it reflected everywhere around them. So group beliefs have a lot more energy, a lot more mass, a lot more gravity to them. So it will be very interesting for you as a coach to make this distinction when you're working with your client, to make that distinction. What's a personal belief in my client? What's a group belief? So one way I can do that is by asking questions about where this belief is coming from, where do they see it reflected outside. But also, people have a lot more emotion and stubbornness and inertia connected to group beliefs, because they see them reflected all around them. So they're not as easy or open to discuss them. The next thing is core belief. I found that the definition of a core belief would be something which is closer to your soul, to your spirit, to your inner being. And the difference between normal belief or a core belief would be that you might have, like, mind chatter. Let's say during the day you have thousands of thoughts going through your head. Well, you might have a lot of surface beliefs. I don't know, sugar is bad, meat is bad, this is good, this is bad. And all of these beliefs might be at the surface level, something that exists within you, but they don't have a lot of emotion, a lot of energy to them. You just operate with them. But the core belief will be something very close to your soul, to the depth of your being. And they will be usually very close to your values. And if it's a negative belief, or a belief that causes pain, when you touch a person in a core belief, they can often explode, cry, go through intense emotions. Or even sometimes they can even be aggressive mentally, because you're touching the core of their being, which is very close to their identity. So a core belief in some way touches upon the identity of the person, who they see themselves as at the depth of their being. Okay, so let's say a personal belief might be Nike is the best running shoe out there, and I only buy Nike. That's a very easy belief to challenge, and but if at the core you might find something like life is hard, good things happen to other people, never to me, and a person can live with this for several decades. And if you touch this, there will be an explosion of pain. because a person has created their identity around this belief. So as a coach, you might sometimes, depending on the situation, you might sometimes need to work with a core belief. And my advice is to be very wise and tactful in approaching this, because sometimes you can lose a client. I lost a client when we were discussing a core belief. She came for executive coaching about the business, which somehow brought up beliefs of low self-worth. And during the third session, when we were exploring changing these beliefs about low self-worth, issues came up from her childhood, sexual abuse, and she was gone because we touched the core of her being. Now, I know as coaches, we're not psychologists, we're not supposed to do therapy, but it happened somehow naturally and organically in the session. So you should be very tactful with dealing with core beliefs, but sometimes you need to challenge them. Let's say one normal core belief among a certain strata of population is that money comes through hard work and suffering. And if you go to rural regions, farmers, miners, they're usually educated like this. This is how they raise their kids to prepare them for life. And these people, you can see this is a core value, core belief. When they see someone making money easy, it drives them crazy because it doesn't correspond to their inner view of the universe. However, in your practice, what you will basically do is try to categorize beliefs in negative or positive, or limiting and empowering. So we call negative beliefs, sometimes we call them limiting, because they constrict our being. There is a basic theory in all self-help material that we have unlimited potential. And it's good for you as coaches to hold this vision for your client, that they have unlimited potential. And the only way you can unleash or realize this potential is by awakening or bringing to the surface what are the limitations that are suffocating your client. And usually you will find a lot of limiting beliefs which paint an image of the universe or the person, your client. It's an image that doesn't serve them in reaching their new goal. So some of these are on the following slide. For example, on your left, I see it, maybe the resolution isn't that bad, but where you see common core beliefs, these are beliefs about, let's say, being unlovable. And they can be classified as I'm alone, I will be rejected, I'm unwanted, I don't fit anywhere. Or if you look to the right, one of the common core belief is helplessness, like I'm powerless, I'm weak, I cannot achieve this, I'm a loser, I'm unsuccessful. So core beliefs will touch the very center of the person's being. And we talked about this, they're very emotional. The main categories can be abandonment, which you should be aware of, and being unlovable. If you're working with your client on let's say relationship issues, helplessness, it quite often comes up when you do career coaching, because often people will say, "Oh, I'm a loser, I'm not successful." Like these statements or beliefs of being helpless come out. Talking about limiting beliefs, so they usually come from past experiences which were negative, and they can also be engraved by parents. Sometimes, parents and even friends can implant something in the childhood, and you will work with your client. They will have very limiting beliefs about their potential or what they can achieve, and they have no idea where this is coming from. These are usually deeper psychological reasons. So you're not a therapist, but for in many cases you can actually help your client just by helping your client face these beliefs and acknowledge that they're there, and there's a correlation between their life experience and their belief. Even if you do nothing else than this, you'll help your client grow a lot in life. One of the things that I have found out is that just facing a belief requires courage. So I think that it is your job as a coach to be there for your client when they are in need of courage or support to face something within them, some limitation. Some of the most popular limiting beliefs are, I'm too old. I use this a lot now, and I'm not happy about it, but it's just there, right? This is an example of a group belief. And why is it a group belief? Well, because in the past I was young, so I couldn't use this. Now, this belief is out there in the ether and I can use it. Not smart enough, not educated enough is a classic. People usually didn't do well at every subject in school, so when they come to you, especially if there's some sort of career coaching, they might not be happy about taking some bold steps, and they'll tell you, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the skills, I don't have the education, I'll be rejected, this and that. So if you go look at this list, I'm sure you'll find some of these limiting beliefs within you and your client. And I like the picture on the left. You see how the back of this person is crooked? It's like limiting beliefs have this weight, this gravity that pulls you down. You start looking down, your spine is bent. And even in coaching, you remember your NLP class, if you have gone through day 2 of the training in Sofia. When you do the NLP training, they teach you about body language. Look at the body language of your client if you're exploring beliefs, and I think their body language will reveal a lot about the effect of these beliefs. Like sometimes people physically bend or hold their head, they're like this, and you can see this is something very powerful or very old. So the last or most important distinction we made was negative and positive beliefs, and they are present within us simultaneously. So you might have a lot of positive beliefs about certain areas of life and negative about others. It's even interesting to notice that if you're looking at the life of your client as a plane, your client might have a certain positive thoughts about an area, let's say money, relationships. But if you try to make this client do a quantum jump to a higher reality, to make a change in life, which is a big stretch, somehow in the same area where they used to have positive beliefs, they might demonstrate a negative belief, like, oh, I can't, this is too difficult, I can't do that. So don't be surprised if even a positive client, which seems very, centered and like they have their life in order, as soon as they might come to you, motivated, I need a coach for this, and I plan to do that, and everything works fine, and suddenly they might start demonstrating some negative beliefs, even so they have previous success in the same area. So this is normal. This is a map of how beliefs are initiated, and you might like to look at it just so you will be aware of the process. And the most important lesson here is that beliefs are created. So something happens externally, some event, some message, some experience, and you absorb it, you filter it through your value system and background, life experiences, and you start forming ideas and thoughts, their feelings associated with these beliefs, and you start making some decisions about life. You start acting on some choices in a particular way, and then these choices create new external experiences, which usually reinforce the initial belief, and this cycle is formed. So the cycle is real, and yet it can be broken. And you, as a coach, should be able to assist your coachee in breaking the cycle. And you do this by introducing a new element in the cycle, which we will discuss later. How do beliefs, this is a new topic now, how do beliefs influence and affect our inner landscape and external experience? And again, I use Star Wars because Yoda is a master coach. So you see at the beginning, Luke is complaining, he's expressing certain beliefs that moving a small stone is different than moving a large stone. And Yoda, being a master coach, is no, the difference is in your mind. And only if you focus on this, he's discussing a perception that Luke has, which is a belief system. And the third on the third slide, Yoda says, you must unlearn what you have learned. Basically, this is how you break that cycle, which I showed previously. A belief needs to be unlearned and something new introduced, a new experience, a new thought form, new habits, which will form new experiences, which will form new beliefs, and you slowly create a new cycle. But the power of beliefs is shown in this slide here. So you have the belief cycle on your left. So the amount of belief you have determines the amount of potential you can tap into. This is quite true, because if you don't really believe in something, you're not really going to try very hard. Your energy will be stunted. Like you won't be warm boiling water. You'll be like, lukewarm water. So that influences your potential, and your potential determines the amount or even the quality of action you take. So if your potential is stunted, then the action you will take will be a poor effort. Possibly this effort will lead to some success, but a lot of failure as well, which then is the result. And when you see this result, you bring it into your unconscious and conscious mind, into this loop. So you reinforce the belief. So the belief, if you look at the other picture, is at the core of your being, and then you have meaning, which is kind of the mental or cerebral garb of your belief, and this also influences your design. So the power of your motion, what you desire, how you desire it, the meaning you give to it, all of this is derived from your belief. Another beautiful loop showing how beliefs can influence us. So you have a negative belief, the picture on the left, which this is interesting. Seek evidence to support a belief. When we have a belief, we subconsciously, and you should remember this as a coach, you subconsciously always look for ways to prove to yourself that your belief is true. Let's say people that believe relationships are bad or difficult, they always focus on the guy that is cheating or the woman that is cheating, and they always focus on that, and then this reinforces their belief in their behavior, their feeling, and they create this loop. But if you want to tell them, oh no, look, there's another experience, you see this couple or that, basically, they don't want to engage in new information. So limiting beliefs lead to lack of action, and this leads to poor results, and that goes on to limiting beliefs again. So this is another slide, but just for the interest of time, we might just briefly skip through this. So the impact of your limiting beliefs will be physical, emotional, and mental. So they will affect your motivation, your morale. They will affect how you even physically move. You will not be prone to taking risks or initiating new activities. Usually, due to this, you won't make any new decisions, or you'll make poor decisions. For those that are interested in applying this in the business environment and executive corporate coaching, this will always affect a person's productivity or performance, their creativity in the workplace. So limiting beliefs need to be addressed in every setting. So one of the things that I find useful is, how do I apply this in life, executive or corporate coaching? So let's say I brought the T-GROW model. This is the model that you use when you lead your coaching sessions. Now, this picture is correct. You start with the topic, the goal, the reality, the options, the way forward, or the wrap-up. And usually this is how you initiate a cycle of conversation, and you might be happy when you reach the way forward and your client has a list of goals, things to do, and you kind of let them fly away. Although this is a perfectly good model for belief coaching, I prefer this model. How the steps in the coaching session are put in a line. See, in belief coaching, there is only one important or major area that you should focus on. That's the way forward, point 5. If people can hide their beliefs during the topic, during the goal, during the reality, when they're exploring options, they can still hide their beliefs. When the way forward comes as your next step, if you have not addressed as a coach their beliefs, and if your coachee has been hiding them, this is where poor beliefs or negative or limiting beliefs will come, and they will immediately show you if this person needs to work on beliefs or not. If your beliefs are bad, the way forward will be stunted and blocked, and they will not do their homework. They will not take the action. They can cheat during the goal. Yeah, a person can say, yeah, I want to have $1 million. Then reality, they can explore, you can explore the reality with them, and people can live in a virtual state. But you get really kinesthetic or physical. You get connected to reality and way forward. And if a person has issues in the belief system which are not addressed, this is where they manifest 100% of the time. So I kind of wrote down that from the perspective of belief coaching, the way forward is one of the most important stages. Be aware as the coach when your client starts to step dance too much, giving you excuses on why they didn't do this or that. It could be because you did not address some issue with their beliefs in the previous steps. So how do you do this in life, executive corporate coaching? How do you initiate belief coaching? Well, first of all, I gave you one example with this person that came to me for for executive coaching, which kind of slid into life coaching. But I want to raise your awareness on some issues that might happen. For example, if you see a negative belief, would you elicit limiting beliefs on your initiative? Do you think as a coach, you should initiate this, or should the client initiate this? It's something to think about. It's my opinion that it's kind of my job to elicit limiting beliefs, because a person might not be well informed about the power of beliefs, or if their beliefs are negative or not. So the next question is, how do you do this? Are you very open and aggressive? Are you more gentle with this? How do you approach a person and discuss their belief system? Because remember, beliefs can be very emotional for people, and they're not always ready to engage in this discussion. So you must have tact. I had people challenge the importance of beliefs. For example, one person says, well, if I believe I can fly, even if I jump off a building 1,000 times, gravity will prove me wrong. So beliefs are irrelevant. Reality is what it is, and it's bad. So how do you deal with a person that's cerebral and logical like this and wants to use their logic to neutralize looking into their belief? Well, one of the things you can remember is when people go through various acrobatics to run away from belief coaching, it's usually because they fear something. There's an area they don't want to look into. So you as a coach should be aware of this, and how you approach this person is very important. How you answer such a question where they when they defy or deny the belief factor is very important. And it's very important to know that pushing is not good, but also pulling away as a coach is not good, because you're there to serve your client and not soften the reality of who they are. I see a lot of people in the coaching and other similar self-help industries selling out or giving affirmations to clients. And I'm just raising this point. Would you do this to a client? Now think about this. For me, this was not a good thing, because in order for an affirmation to work, it must have a relationship to the client. So when a client is ready to shift a belief, they will shift it to an appropriate degree, and they will come up with an affirmation that they are okay with, that they believe in. For example, if your client is struggling with poverty and you give them the affirmation, I have $10 million now. Yeah, it's not going to work for them. Might be good for you, but not for them. They might need 1,000 euros right now, because that's what they believe in. This is the next step for them. So encourage clients to come up with their own affirmation, which is an extension of who they are and their goal. Something that they can relate to and believe in. During the corporate coaching discussion, which we usually in corporate coaching, people don't maybe talk about beliefs, but I was a part in some companies where I tried to create a connection between my life and executive coaching experiences with the corporate coaching experience. And I did come with my own impression that corporations have beliefs. For example, I worked with a company where they wanted every month to fire 2 people. By default, this was the must. And I was like, why? And they told me, well, if other people are not afraid of losing their job, how will they work hard? So as psychopathic as this is, they actually gave me a belief system. So corporations can have a belief system. So if you do corporate coaching, you might work with an entire team, and the group energy, the group belief system will be, it could be the mission and vision of the company. It could come from the CEO, the team leader, and then a lot of people will accept this. Some people will go through the motion in the workplace, and over time they do certain things which reflect poor beliefs And sometimes they are very difficult to shift because it's usually the higher ups in corporate coaching that bring these beliefs. Like the person that told me they want to fire people was a CEO. So sometimes it's very difficult to do corporate coaching to change the belief system or the soul of a company without the appropriate blessing or cooperation from the upper managers. But think about the last point I wrote down. How would you shift beliefs in an organization? Where would you start? How would you even approach this? Because beliefs in an organization are a reflection of their culture. And people these days love the science of phrases or empty phrases. Every company has a culture. And they all enjoy their culture and this and that. But sometimes they're not even aware what is the origin of their culture, what their beliefs and values are. And it might be good for you as a corporate coach to bring it forward, because if they want to change or shift, they might need to develop some new beliefs and new habits. So we're getting to the end. Please, a little bit more patience. So main obstacles to successful belief coaching. Again, this is not the evangelical correct answer to what the main obstacles are. This is just what I've discovered in life. So the three main obstacles I discovered was to accept the roles of belief, or to accept the importance of beliefs. Usually people that are younger are raised now with a lot of self-help materials, so they're more open to this. The older generation is not as open, and in some regions, people can be more or less open. So you might face the problem of people don't care to look too much into beliefs because they don't see the relevance of it. And as Katrin used to say, you might have to take off your coach hat, put your consultant hat, and explain this to them, because it's a realistic problem. Like I've had people like this. So that's one major blockage. If people don't believe, they should focus on
Алло,
beliefs.
здоров.
Sorry?
Да,
So-
тем, что
Okay, so another thing I found was people are resistant to accepting belief which is causing them a problem. They might defend the belief because if this belief has persisted in their life for a longer period, this belief can serve as a shield or a defense mechanism for their behavior and experiences, and they're not willing to discuss it or accept that it's problematic. And the last problem I found with clients is that people might decide to play along, do belief coaching, but sometimes it takes months and even years of intensive work to create a major shift in life. And the role of time is very crucial here. People want to do affirmations for 2 weeks, and if they don't get that $1 million, they just quit. So this is a major obstacle to belief coaching. You have to instill within your coachee, with your client, that this takes time and energy. I wrote some tips for the future coaches, that clients will hold on to an issue in the belief as long as they derive something from it. Even if it's suffering, if they're not ready to let go of suffering or struggle, they won't shift their belief and they won't shift their issue. So you have to exhaust everything that they gain from the issue in the belief in order for them to make a move forward. And one way to do this is to let's say, have them visualize a higher future, a better future, have a better life, inspire and motivate them enough to let go of the old to move to the new. Basically, I'm trying to say is that before they can manifest the new, they need to let go of the old. And it's the same with belief. If you are successful with your client and shift a belief in one area, that doesn't mean that belief disappears in other areas. Usually people that have the verb I can't, if you help them manifest that new job, They'll feel good about themselves, but they might still experience I can't in relationships. So don't feel like a failure as a coach if one area shifted but others didn't. It's normal. These are, I mentioned something about cyclical beliefs that you work on them, you work on your beliefs, they disappear, you have a better life, and then you do a quantum jump, try something much higher in life, and voila, the same old belief is there. Not when you look at your existing success, but if you're looking forward to a new higher jump, your old beliefs might come up. And know that as a coach, that doesn't mean you're a failure. That doesn't mean your client is going down or going back. It's normal that if you jump or take a larger step forward, that some insecurities will surface, and they will be the same that insecurities your client had previously. It means that you need to be there for the client to make another jump to empower them to do so. One game I used to play with myself and people is, the Wheel of Life. This isn't from the PCD. I took it online because it was in color. I like the color, but you can, if appropriate, you can do this with your client for life coaching, and they're similar in your PCD booklet for corporate coaching, I think. You can ask your client, or if it's corporate, the team, to write down for each segment of the pie 3 major beliefs. And if you sum these beliefs up, you'll have a perfect internal picture of who your client or who the corporation is. If you go through this diligently, if they write 3 beliefs for every pie, they're basically describing who they are internally, their internal landscape. And sometimes I do this if appropriate. So how do you successfully coach your client in transforming beliefs? When do you activate belief coaching? When do you bring this to the surface, right? My idea is you don't schedule a belief session. I always allow it to occur naturally. There's a charge. Each session has a charge. And sometimes the session itself will bring forth the issue. But if your client is regularly demonstrating some poor negative beliefs with a lot of emotion, you need to make the decision to sometimes say, okay, stop. What's this? What's going on? And bring it to the surface. Another thing that you need to learn as a coach is how to handle the energy of the client's beliefs. What I mean by this is, especially with core beliefs, there's so much emotion and intensity. When you work with a client, they might be very emotionally expressive when you touch a particular belief, and you should learn to handle the energy of it. Sometimes it can hit you as a wave. You might feel afraid to pursue this. You might feel the client, I'm going to lose my client, or they're going to, get out of the office or the call. I think as a coach, you should learn to handle intensive energies from your client, and you should trust the relationship. And this is what you're looking for, actually. If your client cannot express some more intensive emotions, if the relationship between you is so fragile, then your client cannot grow. So you need to develop this fortitude to be able to deal with stubborn or intense clients. Remember that your client will express thoughts all the time, and these thoughts can give you an inkling of what their beliefs are, even if you don't openly explore the area. Emotions can also lead you to the beliefs of your clients. Areas that have intensive emotions, painful emotions, resistance, can give you an inkling that there's something there to explore. The intensity of the emotion will tell you how deep that belief is and how easily it will shift. Branching out beliefs. I mentioned this previously. So you have a lot of surface mind activity, and there are a lot of surface beliefs that you can touch in your coaching session, but sometimes you need to follow them they're leading you backward to the core belief. So sometimes there's a core belief and there are a lot of surrounding satellite beliefs. And when you start your coaching relationships, you'll immediately witness those surrounding satellite beliefs, but you might need to explore to trace them back to the core belief in order to be successful in helping your client shift. This is just an idea of what the final goal is. So you're trying to replace a particular thought or belief system for something else. And on the picture on the left, you see that eliciting or challenging beliefs is through normal conversation is a very powerful tool. I know these are like close-ended questions. You're supposed to use open-ended, so you can use a different set of questions, but challenging your client, is this true? 100%. Is this like God's law? This can help you in exploring beliefs with your clients and helping them shift and replace them from a negative to a positive state. Just to look here on the picture on the left, it is a sublimation of the main process. So you identify limiting beliefs, you challenge them, and then you're supposed to face your client with that and to help them deal, to find a way forward. So this is essentially a mini model of your belief coaching. And that's why we come back to the end. My hope was to be able to, in this hour, to instill within each of you the importance of beliefs and how if you don't believe something, you will fail by definition. Your homework would be to read newspapers or talk to people or just listen. Remember your coaches, your first tool is listening. Listen to common beliefs in society. Go through the wheel of life. Talk to your friends or just listen to their opinions on relationships, money, work, and listen, and write down what are they saying. You will become very good at hearing beliefs through this practice. You can play with your friends at home with the wheel of life, getting to elicit beliefs from them, and try to see how these beliefs affect their lives. Just observe. Practice questioning your questioning skills on unsuspecting victims. Like I used to practice conversational skills on my family and friends at work all the time because I'm an introvert and I don't want to talk too much. So I would ask open-ended questions all the time to get other people to talk and me to be silent. So I kind of abused my coaching powers. But you can do the same when you're training to elicit beliefs. Get your questioning skills in order and start playing with your family. They don't have to know what you're doing. Just get them to open up about issues and hear what's the belief behind that. And that's that. So I'm sorry if I took a little bit too extra time.
It's perfect. No worries. I actually truly enjoyed listening.
Thank you. So I plan to do this a lot faster, like 15 minutes to leave some Q&A time. So if we have some, please do, or you can just comment. I love hearing from coaching colleagues about their impressions, but if we don't have any time, I understand.
Any questions? I mean, a lot of you that are currently online are from the course, so this is your opportunity. I have to say that this was a very well presented topic, and just I face teaching this topic very often, and I so much appreciated to be in the learner seat. Like, wow, this is well
I
done.
actually use this on myself, right? Because all good coaches must work on themselves, and it's a very it's something in the coaching world. For me, this is like one of the core things you have to do.
Mhm. Actually, for those of you who are still online, I'm going to send you one link, which is for a webinar that's happening tomorrow. I'm saying it now because tonight we talked about beliefs, and it's a very fundamental topic, and that has to do with life coaching, but not just life coaching. You know, it goes like Boris explained, goes into the executive and the corporate, and pretty much permeates any sphere of life. And tomorrow, if you're available and want to jump in, we're doing a series on existential wellness coaching. And it is very closely related to the subject of beliefs, because very often the sense of wellness actually is filtered through the belief system. And next month, the second Tuesday of the month, well, this is only for the Bulgarians, however, I'll be doing a webinar on filters, to be aware of filters that we, as coaches, need to recognize in others, but also in ourselves. So this was a perfect setup, Boris.
Thank you for the opportunity, Katrin and Brian. Thank you for.
I'll just add on to this link, if I may. This exponential wellness coaching is not just one webinar tomorrow night. It's actually a new course that we are producing. And for anybody that wants to attend the live webinars, it is free, but the webinars will not be shared out afterwards. They're actually part of the course. So as we do them live and we record them for the course, those that attend live will benefit from it. After that, it'll be recorded and the course paid for online.
And when you, Boris, introduced yourself in the beginning, I think you were very humble and modest. But I have to say that actually Boris was the first coach in North Macedonia to graduate the practitioner coach diploma, the advanced version of it, with distinction. This is over 90% success rate. So he was a very good student and is an amazing coach. And he's currently in the process of becoming a senior coach, which will be another first for Macedonia.
Yes.
So we're really proud.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, well, you know, studying with this course didn't feel like studying because it was fun actually, and I loved this. It felt like something I wanted to do.
When we came to Macedonia to do your advanced master classes, you had the added benefit of Banichka coming. The online version doesn't get that.
That helped kickstart the day actually.
So anybody else? Any final comments, or do we say goodnight? I mean, thank you for everybody who was here, is here still, not was, but is.
Just wanted to say a big thank you to Boris. Very good presentation, very insightful, really.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone.
And it is true what he says, that we covered this on day 2 of the residential, which currently is the online immersive experience. So it's happening on in April online. And yes, day 2 covers this, and some of day 3 also. Boris touched on topics that are on both days. So, and the metaphor with Yoda, oh, it's my favorite.
I love him. What can you say? Yeah, and this is important now. There are a lot of shifts going on in the world, so beliefs will be challenged, and new beliefs will have to come forward in order for humanity to proceed. So it's something that is an interesting but important topic as well. It's crucial.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I mean, that can open the discussion for another hour or two if we want to talk about current events and
no.
Yeah, in every sphere of life. I mean, just take the wheel of life. The current events, they touch on everything. you know, economy, financial state, mental state,
Yes. And
physical
at every
state.
level, from the individual to the group.
Yes, individual, family, country, global scenarios, and it goes on.
You know, Katrin, I didn't tell you this, but I made it like a habit of mine when I have a new client. I always make them do the Wheel of Life because I want to see who they are and where they are. And it's interesting how people have an idea about their life, and when they see the Wheel of Life, it's like an awakening. They say, "Oh yes, oh I never thought about this," and they find it. They actually enjoy the Wheel of Life, and sometimes I combine that with values on the first day. I just want to see who they are, and almost by default, um, they think they know their values, and something entirely different comes out.
Yeah.
So it's an awakening experience, right?
And what you said in the beginning about how when they come to you, they start telling you, and this is possible, this is impossible, and no, this is the, you know, whatever, and I know best. And you kind of listen, and you know, like, well, actually, what they're saying appears real in their current state of mind, but just you wait, like 15 minutes in the coaching session, just you wait, and it can flip, because when you start getting deeper and they have already gone through the normal day-to-day excuses of whatever they're facing.
Yeah.
But you can't really awaken them on the first 15-20 minutes of conversation, because they'll stop talking. You just kind of have to wait and let them explain, and of course we understand. But then actually it opens up after.
In Canada last year, I entered the Shaolin temple, so I studied with the Shaolin martial arts. With they have Zen Buddhism, and they're always about mindfulness. So they have a lot of health practices like qigong, feeling energy. So and work with that, and they always tell you that even so you experience these things all the time, you need focus in order bringing your attention, let's say, to your hand or whatever, to feel this. And an interesting thing happened regarding mindfulness. While I was preparing this webinar, I had so much awakening. I started seeing my core beliefs. I started seeing my negative beliefs, and I was like, "Oh God!" I'm doing it, and it's just because my awareness is on beliefs, and I'm starting to reflect, and I'm like, "Oh God, I need to work on this. I need to work on that." So yeah, it's technically it's about attention. I think a lot of what we do as coaches is you bring attention to something.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're using the goal as a trick to make this person focus on their beliefs and values and this and that, and they're always there. They just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody else? Dorota, Margarita, you girls are wonderful coaches too, so don't be shy. It's just us, so if you want to chat, you can.
Boris, thank you so much. You sound so professional and so deep and so relaxed. You're amazing, really, really.
Thank you, Margarita. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was an honor.
Webinar. A real pleasure. So professional, so high level. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It's because of the office. You see, I use this.
No, it's not real.
I thought it was the hairdo.
I actually did this for you, Brian.
Thank you.
I did it 3 days ago, so you won't feel left out.
Thank you.
It's
Always
empathy
a support.
as a coach.
Wonderful. No, we should do this again, Boris.
We should. I forgot how much I missed you guys, but you know, changing countries back and forth, I kind of I even stopped doing some coaching, and I kind of withdrew from everything because I was going through major shift. But wow, I miss you guys and all of this. So
well, let's keep reconnecting. So it's always nice.
We will.
Don't disconnect. You're a great coach, Boris.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we're
Thank you.
hoping. I have this inner hope that he will be able to offer coaching in Macedonian very soon.
Hopefully.
With Boris. So we'll see. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dorota, and Margarita, and Natalia, and Gary, and Ivo for staying till the end. Hope to see you again soon. And of
Boris,
course, you girls and boys and guys, whatever, everybody, you're welcome to jump in on in April. As you know, for Noble Manhattan students, this course is for free. So you just have to, if you're available on these days, just click a button and come. 19, 20, 21. Mhm.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much and enjoy the evening, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank
Ciao.
you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Bye.
Boris. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll send you some links later, okay?
Yes, yes, I'll look forward.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good evening, everyone.